Homeowners, when was the last time you checked on your home title? That's the legal record proving that you own your home. If your answer's never, then this is for you. Scammers, yeah, they're stealing titles and the equity in your home. That's their target. That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code Anthony at HometitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report. Plus, you'll get a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yes, it is. The Anthony Cumia Show. And we are live. Yes, Sunday night. And another week of hijinks and, dare I say, shenanigans. Language. It's never ending. It's just never ending these days. Is there even one day that is kind of chill? Kind of like, I guess everything isn't coming apart at the seams today. Nope. I don't remember a day like that for quite some time. And I get it. You know, being in broadcasting, you're kind of exposed to a lot more than just your average citizen. I get it. I have to be on top of a lot of this stuff. So I'm kind of exposed to it. But I think even people, regardless of their job, especially these days, you're pretty into what's going on. You're paying attention. We could see it. I don't think people have been this savvy about the political state of this country and the world for forever. Ever, I think. Honestly, some people are, the blithering idiots, but even they think they're in the game. They want to talk about it like imbeciles, but they do want to talk about it. Hence the division. I was just thinking about this before the show. Years ago, we were talking about how divided the nation is. Oh, my God, we're so divided down political lines and racial lines. Oh, it's crazy. And that was a picnic compared to what we are experiencing right now in the United States of America. And the sad part is that this is the best it's going to be. Tomorrow will only be worse. Pessimistic much, Anthony? Yes. Yes, I am. I just see what's going on out there. It's not disagreements anymore or this kind of thought like, well, I respect your opinion. I hate it. I don't agree with it. But you make a good case, but I still don't agree with it. And I could even think you're stupid. But it's never. Even during the Vietnam War, I was a little tater tot back then. And I remember listening to the grown-ups talking about it during holidays and yelling at each other about the peace movement and the war. And we can't let the communists get a foothold in Southeast Asia, and what does it have to do with us killing babies? All the Vietnam debates that were going on. Huge demonstrations, and there was violence. There was violence. But my God, we despise each other now. The other side, conservatives, liberals, Republicans, Democrats. It's the right, the left. We don't even like each other. We hate each other. And when you hear either one side or the other talk about turning down the rhetoric, and maybe, just maybe, we can talk to each other and get along again. We're all Americans. No, we're not. We're Americans that believe America is one thing, and we're Americans that believe America is a completely different thing. We have a common nationality in name only. America. What does it even mean in 2025? I know what it used to mean, and I know what I thought it meant during my life. And it isn't really just an age thing. It's not like, well, the younger people will believe that America is different than you will. It's not even that. There are these just insane boomers that I don't know what the hell they're thinking, if they're thinking at all. The left and the right is pretty much it. And they have a completely different take on what this country is and what it's supposed to be and how we're supposed to treat each other as Americans. And there is barely any commonality between the two sides. I think that's obvious. Not breaking any new ground over here with that statement. I like an America that has the traditions and values that we understood to be American. You know, we always considered ourselves to be the moral high ground in a lot of world events. Sure, we went a little nuts every so often, having to replace a president in some Central American country or shoveling some weapons to some other organization. But the bottom line is, you know, we didn't despise each other like we do now. And the way we view America is so different. This freak show that we put up with every day. And we were told many years ago when they started rearing their ugly heads, their ugly nose-pierced, pink, blue, and yellow-haired ugly heads, we were told we need to be tolerant. We need to be tolerant. These are Americans, just like you. Yeah, right. And we were. We were very tolerant to a fault. And when people talk about things like the domino effect or slippery slope, that's exactly what happens. And then you fast forward a decade or so, and your America doesn't look anything like the America that you wanted, you had, you enjoyed. It's now this freak show with certifiably insane people running around telling you have to celebrate everything they do. You're not allowed to disagree with them. And as we saw of late, if you do, you might end up in the proverbial pine box. So how do we have anything in common? How do we have enough in common in 2025 to not hate each other? I think the right-wing people, and I hate even saying that because they've said so long how the right wing is the crazy, violent, white supremacy, which is all nonsense, but for lack of a better term, we enjoyed the American traditions. And then when we see the left just screwing everything up, and then we're told to be tolerant, and then when everything comes crashing down and we're not even allowed to practice these traditions and institutions anymore, we're told we have to be nice and turn down the rhetoric. And can't we just talk it out? Yeah. Like Charlie Kirk tried to talk it out. That's all he was doing. How'd that work out for him? Well, there's a couple of arenas packed full of people paying tribute to Charlie Kirk. I don't know what comes next, But I'll tell you what doesn't come next. Unity. Any kind of sit down, peaceful dialogue and debate between these two definitive sides. There doesn't even seem to be any middle ground anymore. There's no gray area. There's no people that are willing to look at both sides and try to talk to either side about that. It's so staunch. Everyone is staunchly divided. And it's not a good thing. I'll tell you that. I like the side I'm on. Oh, it's not sides. We're all Americans. How long have we been hearing the left especially say that? We're not talking about red states and blue states. It's the United States. Oh, okay. Yeah, it really looks like it. It really looks like it. With the clowns marching in the street, doing everything they can to keep criminals out there and to make sure women can just kill their kids. And it's and I'm not even that big an abortion advocate or a pro-lifer. It's just another thing that divvies up the country along political lines. And I'm not even one of these that there's a great overseeing eye of Sauron that is just keeping us divided in order to conquer us and power over us. Maybe it worked out that way, but I don't think it was anyone's plan right from the get-go. It's just we were way too nice. And we allowed the left, the communist left, the debaucherous and horrible left, we allowed them to do whatever the hell they wanted. And we were told we had to be nice. And look where nice got us. It got us a country divided, and it's barely recognizable anymore as to what it used to be. You know? Well, there's my 2 cents on that. Plenty more, though, to talk about. I want to talk about the freedom of speech issue and Kimmel being fired or whatever he is, laid off, suspended, and a bunch of liberal people that decided they were going to get on social media and say naughty, nasty things about a man's life, and they got fired, and now they just can't understand it and want to think that it was all their First Amendment was infringed upon. That ain't quite it. That isn't quite what happened. So back with a lot more, 800-848-9222. Back in moments with more of the Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. How you doing? We'll, of course, take some phone calls. Rex in Florida. What's up, Rex? Barely heard that. Try it again.
A bad connection. Let me try calling you back.
Oh boy, you're kind of breaking up.
My fault.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call it. Call back, Rex. I don't know. That sounded a little bad. Susan, somewhere in upstate New York. Hello, Susan.
Hi. Well, I just, was watching that. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I did get to see Erica Kirk.
Yes, the widow of Charlie Kirk at the memorial that they were having today.
Yeah, the drop dead moment. I mean, she was so. Oh my God, she's got so powerful. She was so strong, and the drop dead moment was when she said that she forgave her husband's assassin.
Yeah.
But then, juxtapose President Trump
Yep.
spoke.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I had tears going down my face. But when President Trump said, "I hate my opponents,"
Yeah.
Charlie is like, he doesn't like it, and he's looking up, and I'm like, wow.
Well, Susan, maybe people want to hear the actual clip and not your amazing impression. She does these impersonations. You'd think it was the real people. Thank you, Susan. We might as well play that one now. Here is, I guess, first, Erica. Let's hear Erica Kirk talking about her husband and what she's going through, and, of course, her faith, which is keeping her and a lot of other people going during this tragedy. So here's Erica Kirk at the Charlie Kirk Memorial today.
Most of all, God's mercy and God's love have been revealed to me these past 10 days. After Charlie's assassination, we didn't see violence. We didn't see rioting.
Rioting. How about that?
We didn't see revolution.
Unfortunately.
Instead, we saw what my husband always prayed he would see in this country. We saw revival.
Yeah, that's tough for her, man. But, boy, it's got to be pretty awesome to have such faith in your spirituality, your religion, God. You know, I throw it around every so often. But to be so dedicated and to have such faith in your religion, and especially Christianity, that, you know, you're sorry and you're sad, and you're grieving a loss of that person. They're not around anymore. That's a very sad thing. But there's this part where it's like, oh, he's in heaven with Jesus. And there's this place where it's paradise, and that's like your goal, your whole life, whether you're unfortunately taken out in your early 30s or you live to a ripe old age. If you have that faith and you go through life as a God-fearing person, that is your reward. You're just desserts at the end of it. So while you're busted up that the person isn't here anymore, and especially under the circumstances that Charlie was murdered, there's that part where you're like, oh, and you really believe it. You know, you got to really believe it. Like, oh, yeah, he's up there, him and Jesus, and they're, you know, in paradise, and it's got to be so awesome. I don't know. It's a tough nut for me to crack, you know, but God bless. God bless anyone that could do that. And then what Susan was talking about, Donald Trump got up. And, you know, while Erica Kirk was very forgiving, her religion teaches her that she has to forgive. She can't hold that type of hate and animosity and want for some kind of revenge in her heart. And that's, again, got to be a wonderful thing, not just walking around hating all the time. But it's another tough nut to crack. You know, vengeance is such a great thing. But she was asked about Charlie's killer, and she did indeed say that she forgives him and doesn't hold any ill will toward him, and she forgives him. I don't know. Doesn't want him to get the death penalty. Well, Donald Trump has a different take on his opponents, and he voiced it at the memorial. Here's the Donald.
He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent. Charlie's angry. Look at that. He's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone. He was interested in persuading everyone to the ideas and principles he believed were good, right, and true.
Yeah. Again, kind of tough. Kind of a tough thing to do. When you feel like you've been wronged, and I mean, I don't know how Erica Kirk doesn't feel like she's been wronged, that Charlie was wronged, her family, her kids, all of his supporters, and then to go, yeah, I don't care that I was wronged. I don't have this want and need for vengeance like that. When, for the most part, I think it's basic human nature to want to be to exact revenge. I am wrath. How about that? Seven, like in Seven, Brad Pitt's character at the end. Oh yeah, he could have just not shot the guy in the head there, but I bet that movie wouldn't have tested well if he didn't kill the killer, because most people want to see that, and I guess through your faith, being able to kind of put that aside and forgive. Oof. I guess the easy parts are, well, go to church. Go to church on Sunday. Give confession. Do nice things for some people. You feel all good. You go, it was good. I was being kind of godly today. Then there's those impossible challenges that are put down on you. Hey, I'm going to take your young husband and father and just going to give him a horrible death. You just got to go, all right, well, that's the Lord's way, and I guess I forgive. And, again, that promise of redemption and paradise and all that goes along with it. You're a better person than I. That's all I got to say. You're a much better person than I. And at my age, I can't see myself changing. I don't know. All right. Back in moments. Where are you going? Stick around. Anthony Cumia Show continues.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show on a lovely Sunday evening. And, the Charlie Kirk Memorial, Glendale, Arizona, at the State Farm Stadium, tens of thousands of people, they were lining up yesterday. And they have another arena right next door as an overflow. And that was full. And then there were people out in the parking lots. And just a lot of support for Charlie Kirk. Donald Trump hailed slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk as a martyr for American freedom on Sunday and vowed at his memorial service to carry on the activist work, while again suggesting the radical left was responsible for Kirk's murder. The violence comes largely from the left, Trump said, without citing any evidence. Can we really just despise mainstream media? What is this? Reuters. Hemorrhoids. Just terrible. Without citing any evidence. if you can't see it, then just shut up. Then I don't know what to tell anyone. What did the left do? You've seen it, you've heard it for years now. These bastards, they're out there just stirring it up, getting these mindless zombies to do their bidding by working their propaganda machines, which Reuters and the left-wing media, propaganda media, is doing. So without citing evidence, stop. In remarks that often turn starkly partisan in contrast to the more solemn tone that most other speakers adopted. Yeah? Maybe it's because the boyfriend of a trans person, a liberal who was brainwashed and indoctrinated by the schools and his circle of people, decided to kill Charlie Kirk. And he was starkly partisan? Yeah. Yeah, we need more of that. It's like I was saying before, enough of the tolerance. We're done with it. Done. Trump's message reflected the dual nature of the event, which had the feel of a religious revival mixed with a Make America Great Again rally. The memorial, organized 11 days after the assassination of Kirk, conservative youth advocacy organization Turning Point, drew tens of thousands of people. Yeah, Erica, of course, there. And it's I think this assassination happened at a time where a lot of Americans, especially, like I said, people on the right, people that want a more traditional America. He wants to go back to 1860. No. Just more traditional. Little things called respect, safety, control of crime, not having freaks walk around. Yeah, more traditional like that. And I think this assassination of Charlie Kirk happened at a time where we were right at the precipice anyway of really not wanting to hear any more of this garbage from the left. And that includes, everything that's been going on. The illegal immigration problem, the Islamic invasion of our country and all Western nations around the world, and how destructive that is to America and democratic nations around the world. So I think this really got a fire under everyone's ass that, we're sick of it. And I think looking at Christian values like we're seeing at this memorial and how important that is to a lot of people that are at this memorial and just people watching at home. Because, we've seen that Christians seem to be the one religion you could really trash publicly with impunity. And people just, now they're embracing it. And if they're not literally embracing the religion itself, they're embracing the spirit of it. That, I don't want a country that is under Islamic law, that Islam can come in, take over, put their ancient rules and regulations in place. So I think Charlie Kirk being murdered is part of it, but it's also all this stuff that's been building up. All this that's been building up. Charlie's murder was kind of the catalyst to get that out. And, I don't think at any other time before this, a couple of years back even, that we would have seen such a turnout and support for someone like Charlie Kirk because we weren't done yet. We hadn't looked around and just gone, yeah, done. We still had this stupid, well, we'll be tolerant. We'll see. Maybe things will change. Now people are just sick and tired of it. And what Charlie Kirk was saying out in these debates that he would do with people was the same thing. More traditional America, guided by faith in God, faith in something greater than us, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, it's tough. That's a tough one. But you don't have to be religious to have basic values, to put value on human lives. You don't have to go to church every week for that. And that's one of the values I was talking about, the traditions of being an American. And the left is just all about violence and mucking up the works. I saw these dumb protesters in front of the exit to an ICE law enforcement facility. And they're trying to go out and do their jobs. They got vans and they're trying to drive them out. And they're locking arms and standing in front of the vehicles, in front of the gate, trying to get out. And when some of the law enforcement officers threw them out of the way and they fell on their asses on the street, it was like the worst thing these people have ever seen. They're yelling Nazi and Hitler and fascist at the cops. You were in the way. I tossed you out of the way. They just don't seem to understand how things work in a civil society, a civil Western society. And everything is a slight to them. Everything's an intrusion into their insane, sick lifestyles. And we're just supposed to go, yeah, take it. Take America. Go ahead. Turn it into whatever crap hole you want to turn it into. And we looked around enough, and finally now we're saying no, we won't. And they're all up in arms about that. Sorry. We looked around long enough, and we're done. We are done. George from Westchester, what's up?
Well, you happen to bring up some religious discussion, so
a little bit.
I'm sure you realize that the Christian theology indicates that Jesus helps you when you're dead, not when you're alive.
Well, yeah, but, there's other people that beg to differ, the power of prayer, and there are people that do stick right with that and go, yeah, I'm not on this earth for the pleasures of the flesh. I'm here to serve God and Jesus and get my reward ex post facto after you die. So, it's like I said,
isn't that quite a contradiction?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's very difficult because it's all faith-based. There's no tangible evidence.
Do you think a supreme being is a spectator or an observer or neither one?
I don't know. If you look at God as the creator of us
that's different. That's different. That's the creation of the earth, nature. But
that's part of the
human being is expendable.
But that's part of the Christian religion is that there is a God who created all of this, and your mission on planet Earth isn't to go around pleasing yourself and doing things selfishly. It's to serve God, and then you get the payoff after you're dead. That's the book.
Well, what good is that if you're supposed to be an individual who can benefit mankind, such as Charlie?
Yeah,
and he's taken, and that to me is a bit of a contradiction. It doesn't give much regard to the human being.
It does seem that way, George, and that's where the mysterious ways thing comes in. That's the
that's
answer.
if you want to say it's a mystery. It's not a mystery. It's a matter of common sense, actually. When you think about it,
common sense can't be pulled in to religious faith. It's the antithesis of common sense. It's faith-based. You have to believe so much that you're willing to use your life here, your human life here on earth, to serve God, and then you come out on the other end.
Where does it say that you serve anybody?
Well, I know, George. I know what you're saying, but all I'm doing is trying to give the other side's point of view on how this all
right.
is supposed to work.
You know why these people are joining this far left? Because they're lonely.
Yeah,
they
well,
have no life.
That's their religion.
Life.
Thank you, George.
They have no life.
Great take on that, George. I hang up on George a little bit, but the left has their religion. And it's what they do. It's the protesting, the chanting through a bullhorn, and then repeating the words in a parade of freaks. And if you want to bring it into a religious circle and kind of look at it through religious eyes, it's like in the Ten Commandments when Moses comes back and they're all partying and having debaucherous sex, and they made a golden idol, a golden calf, and they were worshiping that. It's kind of like that, and the left seems like that kind of people, that they're lost. They're just milling about, getting together with each other, and they don't really have any faith in anything. They certainly don't respect humanity. They don't respect human beings. So yeah, it's tough. And look, I'm just saying what I learned through my life as a Catholic. I barely go to church. I don't know much of anything about the actual religion. I'm just saying, like, that this is what is preached to Christians. It goes through certain religions, Catholicism being one of them. And it's just, it's the faith part of it. That's the tough one, because you're gambling there, aren't you? You're gambling on something that really no one's been able to show proof of an actual payoff at the end. It's totally faith-based. So I don't know. Hey, I more power to you if you're doing that, because I can only imagine the peace of mind it gives people. Must be amazing to live your life and have this absolute, this just an absolute place like heaven that you go to. You believe it 110%. It must be easy then to go through life and not fall into so many evil pitfalls, Here's Kevin from Ohio. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, Anthony. Man, Susan was loaded.
Oh, I know. Yeah, per usual.
No, that was the best call yet she's had. Hey, no, I thought it was crazy, like the lack of compassion that like everybody had. I know you talked about this, but like if everybody sees it now on like their Facebook and stuff. There's these people that you've known for years. 10 years or whatever, longer. And you look and you're like, oh my God, this person's really sick.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
That's kind of where we are. I don't know.
Hey, one more thing real quick, and I'm going to let you go. Hey, get Florentine or Colin Quinn on here, man. You guys are always so funny.
Oh, yeah. No, I will get a couple of the comics on. Colin would be great too. Yeah, Florentine.
I would love to hear. Oh, Colin's awesome. Colin Quinn is the shit, dude.
Norton,
yeah, you guys
Colin.
I watch you guys on YouTube. There's so much good stuff, and I follow your stuff on YouTube. I got to get on your real page, but yeah, man.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah. Anyway, we could move on from the religion stuff. It's I don't know. It's kind of creepy too, because it's all ghostly stuff. I don't know. Ooh, kind of scary. Yeah, I want to get into the freedom of speech issue thing here, and clown of the week. I think our clown of the week this week is the first time we've ever had this person as clown of the week. I'm wondering if you could figure out who it's going to be. We'll do that after the break. But yeah, because especially with the Kimmel thing and a lot of these liberals getting fired, and they honestly don't understand that the First Amendment is a guarantee of, not even a guarantee, it's kind of, it marks that you have a God-given right to a freedom to express yourself and religion and freedom of speech. But what people don't understand is a corporation that you're working for doesn't have to adhere to that. It really doesn't have to adhere to the First Amendment. There are a lot of things going on with that right now. People being fired, the Jimmy Kimmel situation. And I've been through it numerous times during my radio career, getting fired for stuff I said or wrote down on social media. And, you know, I never tried to file a lawsuit because I knew damn well that my First Amendment didn't mean anything to Sirius XM satellite radio. It didn't mean anything to Zappos Communication when I was working at WAAF in Boston. Yeah, didn't mean anything to WNEW radio. We got the boot there. It's a company. And if they don't like you, they can fire you. That's how companies work with employees. And if you write something down that gives them the impression that you're somebody that is dangerous around the workplace, or they don't, the boss doesn't like you, it doesn't trust you because of some of the stuff you've said, then you're gone, and you really don't have any recourse. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit next, and a lot more of the Anthony Cumia Show coming up.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Thank you for tuning in. And, yeah, like I said before the break, we have a brand new Clown of the Week. Here it is, folks.
The Anthony Cumia Show presents the Clown of the Week.
Yes, an oldie but goodie, an oldie but moldy, as they used to say. Hillary Rodham Clinton. I don't believe we've had Hillary Rodham Clinton yet. I'll have to check my records. But Hillary, of course, she's got to get involved with everything. So this Jimmy Kimmel firing and all of the left, and especially the wonderful people in Tinseltown, Hollywood, the wonderful celebrities, the beautiful people, they all have their opinion, and it's all the same. What a coincidence, all the same, that Trump is a tyrannical ogre who is just stripping people of their First Amendment rights. And Hillary crawled out from her rock, went in front of a camera, and let's listen to her drivel for a minute or so.
It is a government action to try to intimidate employers, organizations, corporations, much of which we've already seen, to remove an opponent, even though it's a comic. It's look, I had no idea when I was in public life and listening to the jokes that were made about me and the attacks that were, coming from people like Jimmy Kimmel and others, that I could have called up the head of the FCC and said, take them off the air. I don't like what they're saying.
What? If anyone could dig up one clip of Jimmy Kimmel goofing on Hillary Clinton, well, let me see it. Because listen to the way she sounds. When I was in the public life, if I could have just called up. Oh, yeah, because everyone was on comedy shows, late night talk shows, Saturday Night Live. Oh, they were all making fun of you. Were they? Is that what they were doing? Oh, God. She honestly believes that? It didn't work that way. You didn't have to worry about it because no one was goofing on you because they were scared out of their pants to make fun of you. You look at those lists of all the people that have known the Clintons that have met an untimely end. Think Jimmy Kimmel wanted any of that? I doubt it, Ms. Rodham. But yeah, she thinks it was the intimidation by the commissioner of the FCC. And like I brought up earlier, maybe. But that's definitely not assured yet. The FCC is constantly saying we'll look into it. People wanted the FCC to look into what Jimmy Kimmel said. Now, I don't think what Kimmel said was even bad, even from Charlie Kirk's supporters' point of view. I don't think it was bad. He was more goofing on Trump than he was Charlie Kirk. It was dishonest that he said that the assassin, that MAGA people should look at themselves if they want to look at who did this. That was dishonest. But again, he's not a newscaster. He's a dopey talk show host. And I don't think they're held to the same standard as a newscaster or a politician that's up there. And they lie constantly, newscasters and politicians. So I don't know if you could really take what he said and go, hey, I want the FCC to look into that. I don't think there's an FCC violation there. But when people called and wrote the FCC and said, look into this, the FCC commissioner said, yeah, we're going to look into this. Is that a threat? They look into a lot of things. They looked into the Opie and Anthony show when I was half of the Opie and Anthony show when we got suspended and said, yeah, we're looking into seeing if saying the mayor of Boston is dead is some kind of FCC violation. And the company we were working for was in a big deal with CBS. And they didn't want any kind of the deal being held up by the FCC, so we were fired. Now, were we sure about that? Where we could have gone to court? That they infringed on our Second Amendment rights? Hell no. There was no proof there. The FCC was asked to look into it. They looked into it. And we were fired. It happens. I honestly don't think, from what we know at this point, that it had anything to do with an FCC threat against ABC Disney to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. For what? He's been saying terrible stuff about the right and about Trump for years now. So what all of a sudden was like, oh, well, let's get rid of him. And he said stuff that was worse than what he said about Charlie Kirk. All right. That, a lot more. And your calls, 800-848-9222. Anthony Cumia Show continues.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. And we appreciate your patronage. It's been an insane few weeks, and I don't know where it goes. I think a lot of people were in shock, the whole thing, and then the memorial. Everyone's getting together. There were a bunch of seeing Trump and J.D. Vance and Hedgeseth and a few other cabinet members there all in one place. With the way things are, I don't know if that's such a good idea. I don't know how far down the chain of command they were, the succession that they were. I mean, who do we get? If, God forbid, something happened to that extent, who the hell would be stepping up at that point? Not good. Not good. So that got me a little nervous. Seeing Trump and Elon shaking hands up in the bulletproof booth there at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, that was kind of interesting. I don't know if it was good. I really don't care if they're friends or not. It always seemed like there was a lot of tension there anyway. Trump seemed to get along better with Elon's son than he did Elon. Elon's just a weird guy, and so is Trump. And I think they're both narcissists because, first of all, every president is a narcissist. I think you have to be to think you're the guy that's going to run the free world. And Elon, kind of a narcissist. I'm going to save humanity by colonizing Mars. Yeah, it's kind of a narcissistic thing. Yeah, it's me. I'm saving all of humanity and all future generations of humans. So two narcissists don't usually go well together. But it was kind of cool to see him shaking hands. They were with Dana White from UFC. They got a big UFC event planned for the White House lawn. I don't know. It's another one of those things that's Trump. And I swear, man, we are, even if you don't like the guy, if you can't stand him to the point where you're writing horrible things that the Secret Service should look at you for, then maybe not. But I think most people in years to come, when all this part of history is in our wake, you're probably going to miss the guy, Donald Trump. Oh, I hear you. No, I think you will. This is a once, maybe ever type of presidency. All the presidents we've had from Washington up to Trump, there's never been a president like this. And people right now are probably going, good, there's never been one. Good, bad, and different. Look, we're still chugging along. He already served a full term, and it wasn't the end of the world. I think we'll get through this. And then it's just another president that was in the past there. And I think a lot of people, because what are we going to go back to business as usual? J.D. Vance, let's say J.D. Vance is elected. He's a politician. He's pretty outspoken compared to other politicians, but he's not like Trump. And it'll just be back to, here's the news conference, and I promise to make this country, and it'll be boring. It'll be boring. You'll miss that guy. I think a lot of people are going to miss that guy. On my sheet here that I look at, my little prep sheet, it says libs hate law enforcement. And I don't think you have to really argue this point. I think it's pretty well known. Just before talking about the guy in California that shot at an ABC affiliate because he was mad that they fired Jimmy Kimmel, and then they just bail him out. They give him bail. He was out on the streets. And then thank God the FBI stepped in and arrested him again. But that's how much they care about law enforcement, putting dangerous people away from society. They don't. They just don't. They've demonstrated that over and over and over again. Lives have been lost. Innocent people have been killed because of their lack of any real motivation to get criminals off the street. So this was a clip I was talking about earlier with Jasmine Crockett, Slavey Crockett. She says, well, why don't we just let you hear what she says about crime and criminals? And this is how they all think. This is absolutely how they think. They've twisted reality around into such a way where it is not even recognizable anymore. Jasmine, talk about crime and criminals.
I understood what was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons.
So you commit a crime for a bunch of reasons, but being a criminal is a mindset, and someone that commits a crime isn't necessarily a criminal. Oh, okay. All right. You. Well, that's typical of the left. That is quite typical of the left, because it's all about making excuses. All about making excuses. Now, look, we're not all dummies here. I think we understand that if a kid walks in to a stationery store, if those are still a thing, and grabs a pack of gum and puts it in his pocket and walks out, I don't think he's a criminal. He's technically committed a crime, but as far as being a criminal, I don't think he's a criminal. I think most people would say, no, the kid's not a criminal. But I think what Ms. Crockett is talking about isn't that kid stealing some gum. She's talking about, well, criminals, people that really do commit real crimes. This rash of looting that's going on, because you don't need a riot to loot. You just go into a store, you go into a Lululemon, and you pack your arms with goods, and you run out. No one stops you. And then I guess you sell it to some Nigerian that puts it out on the corner and sells it at a deeply discounted rate. She would argue that those people aren't really criminals, because what if you're hungry? Oh, my kids, my child's hungry. I had to steal food and diapers and formula for my child. What? I never see anyone running out of those stores with a big arms full of diapers. It's Louis Vuitton, and it's, wigs and makeup. Yeah. She wants to make an excuse for every crime that is committed. And all it does is make everything more dangerous. Mayor Johnson of Chicago, he's of the same mindset too, because he says he's got everything under control. Trump said he wants to go into Chicago and get the National Guard in there and work with law enforcement and really stop the body count that Chicago chalks up every week. Listen to what Mayor Johnson says about law enforcement, incarceration, jails, Yeah, check this out.
The fact of the matter is, no one has asked me to send federal troops into this city to make it safe. It has never come up. It never came up during the campaign. It's never come up in the first 2 years. The fact of the matter is, we are driving violence down on this city, and we're using every single resource that's available to us. Jails and incarceration and law enforcement is a sickness that has not led to safe communities. I'm going to work hard every single day to protect the people who are caught up in violence in this city. Guess why? You want to know why? Because the vast majority of them look like me. He doesn't talk to black mayors about what it's like to live in communities that have been disinvested in. So no, we're not going to succumb to the sickness and the evil that Dr. King warned us about a generation ago. This is a group project, but we're not going to allow the President of the United States of America or any of his ilk look at the work that we're doing across this country, and then now we're experiencing some level of reprieve, and now he wants to put his name on our paper.
Believe me, Trump doesn't want to put his name on your law, what you've done to Chicago as far as law enforcement goes and arrests and getting crime down. You want to see crime go down, violent crime go down? Get Trump in there. Because he's not going to sign off. I want to steal the great work you've done. It ain't going to happen. He would actually make a difference. And how must it feel to be on the Chicago police force when your mayor just called you a sickness? Law enforcement, incarceration, and jails are a sickness, and they do nothing to bring down crime. What? That's your mayor, Chicago. You thought Lori Lightfoot was a treat. Boy, you got this guy now. And that's what it is. That's why liberals, the left, Democrats, they hate law enforcement, and they do not want you to be safe. All right, take a quick break. We'll be right back with more of the show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. And from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, Joaquin, how are you, my friend?
Hey, good evening, Anthony. You know, I got to say something. I think that they actually really want gun crimes, because at the end of the day, their goal is gun control, gun confiscation. And I wonder how many of these criminals that they, arrest for gun crimes actually wind up being released and committing more gun crimes.
Yeah.
So they can drive those numbers up, and they keep them saying, we have to get rid of the guns for the children.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If it isn't what you just said, they sure are making it look that way. I don't know why they're so serious about gun control, and we got to stop gun crimes and gun violence. And then when they catch these people with guns committing crimes, they let them back out on the streets, or they give them some light sentence, or they put that ankle bracelet thing on. They don't seem very serious at all about taking care of the people that are using the guns for committing these crimes. Instead, like you said, and I believe it too, they want more gun crimes so they can push this anti-gun legislation. And they've been doing it forever. And I don't know when it's going to end. This latest assassination of Charlie Kirk really put a monkey wrench into their gears, because that is literally a 100-year-old rifle. It's a bolt-action style rifle that the way it works is the same way rifles worked in the late 1800s. So it's not an assault weapon. It is a weapon used for hunting. Like they said, why would you need an assault weapon to hunt? Well, that type of weapon would absolutely be used by a hunter. So I think it upset them that they really weren't able to use this instance for their gun control garbage. But they're trying. I think AOC said something like, we need this. This is another opportunity where we need gun control, and it needs to be discussed and brought up. And it's just stupid. It wouldn't do anything.
The other thing, too, is that, they keep talking about, the temperatures being turned up. Okay. I really want to know, where is there really any room for any compromise? Because as far as I'm concerned, the America First, MAGA, whatever you want to call it, the Donald Trump agenda, this is the middle agenda for America. I mean, it's close the borders, get rid of the illegal immigrants. If we don't get rid of them, they're creating such a burden. They talk about the Medicaid system, how it's collapsing. It's collapsing in New York and California. Well, they've overburdened it with all these illegals because they want to get the rest of the country to pay for this foolishness. And really, it's their end game. They want to flood the country, surrender our sovereignty to the globalist agenda, to the World Economic Forum and whoever else. And, so where is the middle? There's no room for compromise on our side.
The far right, like I believe that's what you were just saying. They consider the middle the far right. Like we're pretty central here. We're right in the middle. I think, well, of course we lean right, but to say that that we're extremists, and that's how they label us, extremists. And it is more middle. And Charlie Kirk was a great example of the middle, the center, a moderate. But, they saw him as this, and they still do. You see, we watch the news. During his memorial, they're breaking in on CNN and going, well, let's remember he was a right-wing extremist. Right-wing extremist? What right-wing extremist sat down in a chair with a microphone, giving the opposition a microphone, and hashed things out between the two of them with no violence, no disrespect? I said it before, Charlie was always very respectful to the people that he spoke to on these college campuses, never demeaning to them. And he had some real freaks come up to that microphone. And if that isn't moderate, I don't know what the hell is. What kind of a Nazi would sit there and have a microphone and debate with a Jew on the other side? Hey, I really want to hear what the Jewish angle is on all of this. It just wouldn't happen. But they insist he was a right-wing extremist. They are wrong, and they're the ones stoking the flames.
What we've done is we've refused to actually use labeling to our advantage because, quite frankly, they're the ones who act like the Nazi little Hitler minion brown shirts that are running around. And these universities are nothing more than training, basically basic training, just like our military, for the communist revolutionaries, indoctrinating with their ideologies. And then people wonder why you got a CEO of GM or whatever, pushing that leftist globalist agenda. Well, they're products of this educational system that's already been co-opted for a couple decades now. Yeah. And all it does is propagate this leftist, communist revolutionary ideology.
They've been playing the long game, Joaquin, and it's very obvious that it's had an effect. It really has. Thanks for the call, bro. Always appreciate Joaquin's phone calls. Yeah, they're calling them the left. I don't know. There's got to be something worse than that. They're communists. They're Marxists. They're violent. When I heard Trump talking about classifying Antifa as a terrorist organization, I'm like, yeah, good. They should be. These are violent people. Thank God they're made up of freakish femboys and soy boys and lesbians, people that are incapable of actually balling up a fist and hurting anyone with it. But again, weapons are available, and they commit horrible crimes against people. So yeah, when I heard that, sooner the better. They are the people that prevent college campuses from having speakers with differing opinions from them. It stops it. I've seen it plenty of times. And Coulter. Ann is supposed to speak at these colleges, and it's been booked and planned for, and she shows up and they go, yeah, there's a security risk. I'm sorry, we canceled the event. Oh, yeah, that's great. Thanks. And it's all this Antifa, anti-fascist. You're shutting down a public speaker, someone that wants to speak to the people at that college. You're preventing people from hearing Ann Coulter speak and give her side and engage in lively debate with Ann about her ideology and what have you. And they're called anti-fascists? It's a joke. It's comical right up until they kill people. So hearing that, I was very, very happy that Donald Trump said he will be classifying them as a terrorist organization. And, that shouldn't be the only thing. There are some of these other groups. Oh, now you want to lock up groups of people. Can you just... Everyone's an expert. I should be the guy. I should be the guy Trump appoints to just point at people or organizations. I'd be 100%. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, they need to be locked up. I bet I'd be right. I'm that good. All right, maybe not. But they do indeed. They're not about what this country was founded in. I was watching some of these, and I got some clips. I'll play a few a little later when Kash Patel was in front of the Senate hearing. And all I'm thinking is the founding fathers, you put them in a DeLorean and you set the time circuits for 2025. You get up to 88 miles an hour and you let the founding fathers look at what's on that in the Capitol, in the Senate, in Congress. They'd be pissed. What did you do? What did you guys do? Why did you what is that? Yeah. All right, back in moments with more of the show. Stick around.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. And I've said this many times. I'm embarrassed that I have to be under the umbrella of boomer. I was right at the tail end, right at the end. I was almost Gen Z. I was Gen X. X, Y, Z. Gen X. Yeah, that came after boomer. And I was more Gen X than boomer, that's for sure. Not like I was growing up in, I wasn't one of those guys warming my hands by a garbage pail on fire, singing doo-wop songs. No, I was much more a Gen Xer because boomers are embarrassing. Their lack of ability to use any type of technology. They don't know anything about cryptocurrency or AI or more importantly, video games. And they've gotten very cranky. No one wants to be around them anymore. Most of them are in retirement communities. And they've gotten this mission. They've gotten this call from the left. Come out. Help protest with us. It's important. And they go, oh, importance. Yes, I can miss my programs. I'll go out and I'll... who are we protesting? Donald Trump. He's a racist. Just hold this sign. Okay, so he's a racist. Yeah. But my program... we get it, Grandma. And Grandpa's even worse. You were a man once. The woman is just... she's always been, whatevs. But I got to assume that guy was a man once. And now he's out there, hey, we got to do what's right for the What are we doing? Here, just hold the sign, Gramps. I'll give you some brand new, right out of the tube tennis balls for the front of your walker. How about that? I'm a little rascal on my little rascal. So this boomer woman, and this is one of so many. I've seen similar clips to this so many times. Somebody that's alt journalist, let's say, most likely on the right because they're not screaming and yelling and all emotional. They walk up to one of these people that are protesting, and it's boomers sometimes, and they ask them a question, a simple question, something that if you're protesting, you should know. Be a little knowledgeable. If you're going to go out there and spend your time away from your programs with a dumb sign in your hand, you should know what the hell you're out there for. But they don't. They never have an answer to anything. And their big thing is when they get tripped up by the person asking a question because they're so difficult, they walk away and say, I'm not playing your little game. I'm not falling for your clever ruse. And meanwhile, it's a simple question. It's based on common sense or readily available fact to research. So here's this boomer woman, and she cannot answer the simple question, why were there no riots after the Charlie Kirk murder, even though he had millions of supporters, very passionate supporters, and we had watched heroes of the left like St. George of Floyd, and they wrecked the joint. They burnt places down, looting, murder. So a simple question, why? Why no riots after Charlie Kirk? Let's listen to her answer.
In your opinion, why do you think there haven't been riots across the country for what happened to Charlie Kirk like we saw after George Floyd was killed, or the LA riots, or any number of other riots?
I think it has to do with his affiliation with President Trump, who is very unpopular with a lot of us.
That's why there haven't been riots?
I think people are not as sympathetic to someone who is sympathetic to Trump these days.
Oh, well, there's been millions of people doing like prayer vigils and peaceful gatherings.
Trump refused to do anything about a state senator from our state. He did very little to children that were killed while they were in mass in our state. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have anything to do with that man or anyone who supports him in any way.
I don't even know what Trump has to do with this. You're saying there wasn't riots across... He has millions of supporters. Charlie Kirk has millions of supporters across the country. I'm asking, why did those conservatives that support him not destroy the country and burn down cities like we saw the left do?
Sorry, you're not going to bait me with that.
Bait you? It's a very straightforward question, right?
It may be a very straightforward question. You'll have to ask one of those people. Don't ask me.
Okay. Well, we did. But thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah. The guy, first of all, the guy's cordial. He's respectful to the people. And then when they hit that wall, because she tried all kinds of diversions, the reason people didn't riot when Charlie Kirk was assassinated was Donald Trump, because they don't like someone that's tied to Donald Trump. It's not like he didn't have supporters. There weren't enough people to riot, is pretty much what she said. Well, he's with Trump and people hate Trump, so there aren't enough people to riot and loot and murder. And then the guy put her straight. No, he's got millions of supporters worldwide. And then put it to her again. So why? I don't know what Trump has to do with this. Why haven't we seen riots? And then the fake nervous laugh. And then the assumption that they're having the wool pulled over their eyes. Some kind of a trick must be in play because I don't have an answer. And it can't possibly be that I'm a moron. It must be that he's playing a trick on me. It can't be that the answer is, well, because the right and people that support someone like Charlie Kirk are peaceful human beings. and not violent animals that riot at the drop of a hat. So, you're not getting me with that. Not this time. Oh, that you can watch videos like that for hours on end. I was on a show just a couple of days ago, and some transgender person was bad-mouthing my show and saying, political, you're ragging my opinions and my show, and saying that I was lying, whatever it was. And I asked for an example. I go, well, if you're so knowledgeable about my program and what I do, give me one example of what was dishonest or a lie or hack or whatever the transgender person was using. And I got the same thing. Oh, no, I'm not going to play that game. What game? Having a debate? Answering a question? Honestly? That's what they do. That's what the left does. They will not answer a question. And when cornered, they accuse you of some kind of underhanded play. Go screw. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. And like I said, the old boomers, they have turned into hypocrites. They think it's the 60s again, and they're protesting the war. And they're like children in a sense that you could just give them a sign, put it in their hand. If it gets them out of the house to chit-chat with anyone else but the pharmacist, isn't that a treat when you get behind one of them? So I should take this. All the instructions are written down, ma'am. So, well, I need to know, and you're just standing there tapping your foot on some fossilized, please keep 6 feet away sticker that's worn off the floor like some hieroglyphics. Oh, my God, have we been through some stuff? Blake, Minnesota. Oh, boy. I apologize for your state. I don't apologize for your state. I apologize to you that you have to live there, Blake. What's up?
Well, sir, I've lived there my entire life, and it stinks. But, I saw President Trump's speech tonight at Charlie's Memorial. I he makes it about himself. Like every single time. I'm like, can this guy just not be so narcissistic?
Who, Trump? Yeah. I agree. But I explained earlier, he's a narcissist and he's not one of these professional narcissists, because if you don't think Obama is a narcissist and Clinton, anyone that thinks they can run the free world has to be pretty full of themselves. The only difference is Trump has no ability to try to express his narcissism in whimsical ways, in ways that make him sound educated or these other presidents have been able to do that. He's just Trump. He's no more or less narcissistic than any other president. But I know what you mean. I was watching some of that. I cringe. I would say 75 to 80% of the time Trump is speaking, I'm kind of curled up in a ball. I have that feeling like when my brother used to stretch a rubber band and aim it at my face, and you're like, you just know something bad's coming. And that's how I feel watching Trump speak. I get it, but I support him as president.
Like it's today it's the most greatest day ever. It's Charlie Kirk's Memorial, and dude, come on now.
I know. Making jokes. It is. He's so inappropriate.
But we're building a ballroom, and it's the most beautiful ballroom. It's like, dude, come on.
When he did that, the media asked him, a woman or someone asked him, hey, Charlie was a good friend of yours. How are you holding up? Pretty good, pretty good. You see the trucks here? We're building a wonderful. And it was like, whoa, what the hell is that? I wouldn't do that if they were talking about someone I hated. You would say something about, well, it's a somber day, but right into the ballroom construction. He's just, I think he's got some autism. He's a narcissist. His lifestyle, the way he's lived since he was a child till now, kind of, it's not a real person. He didn't live a life like a real person. I don't think he really knows how you're supposed to act in front of people and what you're supposed to, and more importantly, not supposed to say.
He doesn't even know how to wear a tie.
Is that true?
Like,
I never noticed that.
Single Windsor and your freaking ties down past your freaking, belt. Like, come on, bud.
Yeah. No, look, I agree. There are plenty of things about Trump that I cringe, but I support him as the president. I think this country got Trump when they abso-effing-lutely needed Donald Trump to be president. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Besides Kamala. Good Lord.
Yeah, that I could. I would rather have like a rhododendron as the president more so than Kamala Harris. Blake, thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. Okay. Oh, geez, Margie. Oh, where'd you go to Arby's? What time is it? Let me see. 44. Okay, I got a little bit of time here before the next break. I think we could talk about. Donald Trump getting a little fire under Pam Bondi's butt. That butt. I couldn't believe she was 60. I know we're supposed to be professional here. This is a professional political talk radio station. We're not supposed to talk about Pam Bondi in a sexual way. But damn, she's taken good care of herself. That's what I think, anyway. But it looks like Donald Trump was kind of giving her an ultimatum, right? We've been sitting around since he got in office, and we've heard all these things. The Epstein file, remember that Epstein file thing? Where it was being released, and they gave the folders to social media influencers, and it was all redacted stuff we've seen before, and they were making a big thing of it. And now we're, months into this presidency, and Bondi hasn't done anything. Take care of where's all the stuff? Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff lied about the Russia collusion thing. He got in front of Congress, in front of the Senate. He definitely lied. He was up there talking about Trump. He's seen the evidence. He'll be presenting evidence of Russian collusion. And it was all lies. And what happens to them? Nothing. Nothing at all. So he put out a post, Donald Trump, directed right to Pam Bondi. I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially, quote, same old story as last time, all talk, no action, nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is being done, end quote. Then we almost put a Democrat-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past, a woke rhino who was never going to do his job. That's why two of the worst Dem senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said he quit and that there was no case. No, I fired him. And there was a great case and many layers, and legal pundits say so. Lindsay is a really good lawyer and likes you a lot. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. President DJT. Yeah, Yeah. What are you doing, Pam? That right there, and I've seen some speculation about this, but I don't believe it, that this was supposed to be a text directly to Pam Bondi, and Trump screwed up and put it out on social media. Who knows? Maybe. I'll believe anything these days, or nothing at all. But I can't be sure of that. And it's worded in a way and formatted in a way where it looks like more of a text to Pam Bondi than a public post. But maybe he did write it as a text and then said, I got a light of fire under her ass. Let's put it out as a social media post. Because she hasn't done anything. And Trump supporters are very frustrated. One of the big promises during his campaign was, I am going to look into this. We will investigate these people like Comey and Schiff and all the rest of them. And we've seen nothing. And they're just emboldened. I mean, you see Schiff during this Kash Patel hearing. He's just, again, lying. They all just lie and they get away with it. So it would be nice to see something done. If not, this could be one of those last warning things with Bondi, too. Like, hey, pack up your stuff. We got someone who might want to do something about this. It's always been about his cabinet, too. The first administration was just crazy because he's a game show host. He's a former real estate developer game show host. And picking a cabinet was a little rough. But this time around, I mean, he went 4 years as president, 4 years talking to people and trying to vindicate himself and still being well within those political circles. And then he gets elected. He should know by now who is going to do the job that you appoint them to do and who won't. And Bondi so far has been a lemon. Just we're not seeing anything coming out of Pam Bondi. So maybe that is. Maybe that's do something or pack it. Pack it in, babe. Back in a matter of moments. Stick around. More of the show in 2 ticks of a lamb's tail. Is that? Back in a flash.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Live from my house. I'm on dog detail. My girl went to New York City for the week, pretty much, and we got a 6-month-old Belgian Malinois. It is a chore. It is a full-time job. Full-time job with this thing. Every second he's not outside the studio barking, I'm counting my blessings. But every time I'm not doing a show, I'm out there doing dog daddy things. Ugh, I swear. He's a lot of fun, but, it's a full-time job. It's like having a kid that isn't so smart. For a dog, he's very smart, but for a kid, you just got to make sure he's not eating the furniture. Do kids do that? I don't have any. Maybe they do. So there were these Senate hearings, and they were trying to trip up Kash Patel. Look, I got some issues with Kash Patel, but as far as the FBI goes, a little better than Biden's FBI. That's for sure. And much better than Obama's FBI. So they were trying to get him, and Kash, he didn't care. He was just laying into them. Didn't care if the gavel's being smashed up on the big desk. He wasn't going to let them get away with slamming him and calling him incompetent and saying the FBI is compromised and all the stuff they always do anyway. So Senator Hirono from Hawaii asks about this pull-up qualification. I guess there's, in order to qualify down at Quantico to be in the FBI, you have to be able to do a certain type of pull-up that Hirono has decided is sexist. Somehow this pull-up is much harder for women to do than men. And she asks Kash Patel about this certain pull-up. Senator Hirono, hey.
Senator Britt.
Yes. Well, before I begin, I want to thank Senator Hirono
No, this
for
is
what
Senator
she said.
Britt's thing. The other one is Hirono's clip first. Here you go. Thanks.
You know, you've been asked some questions about changes to your hiring standard, and including college degrees and possibly the age. But, you know, one question I had is that you are now requiring applicants to be able to do a certain kind of pull-ups, which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Ooh. Are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents
are you
being
requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to pass the 1811 standards at BFTC. If you want to chase down a bad guy and put him in handcuffs, you better be able to do a pull-up.
The reason I ask is that there are concerns about whether or not being able to do these kinds of harsh pull-ups is really required of FBI agents.
Doing one pull-up is not harsh, and there are always medical exemptions to that.
I love it.
I am gravely concerned by the state of the FBI under your control. And in fact, you are willing to
end it there. Yeah. So physiological differences. Let's hear how Senator Britt uses Hirono's own words against her, talking about women, men in women's sports. Check this out.
Senator Britt.
Yes. Well, before I begin, I want to thank Senator Hirono for what she said, acknowledging that there are physical differences between men and women, talking about that women wouldn't be able to do as many pull-ups. And I think that she was making a case here that there should be different standards. There's a thing called Title IX, and this is why we continue to say we should have biological men and men's sports and biological women and women's sports. And so I look forward to utilizing that to talk to all of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. Maybe they will stand with us in helping us protect women's sports. I think she made a great argument there for it. Moving on to
Perfect. I'm so glad one of them picked up on that she said there are physiological differences between men and women that would preclude women from being able to do these types of pull-ups that they have to do to qualify to be in the FBI. And Patel had a great comeback from that, saying, yeah, if you're going to be an FBI agent in the field, you're going to have to be physically fit to a standard that we dictate. And this pull-up is in that program. You have to be able to do it. Well, women can't do it. Well, then men shouldn't be in women's sports. So Senator Britt coming up with that was an awesome little twist. Oh, very dishonorable, Miss Hirono. Back in a flash with more of the show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Thank you for your support. Greatly appreciated. Let's go to JB in my home state of South Carolina. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Hey.
Hey, I was actually going to use this opportunity to point out what I spoke with you earlier about this week. This is actually Ava.
Oh, God. I'm not going to have that conversation. That's another part of the Dabbleverse, it's called. I don't know if anyone even cares or understands. I'm a frequent guest on another show, and it involves subject matter from that show and not this one. So you can't call me and fool me on my radio show, my broadcast radio show. Do it on a podcast. I'm not going to deal with that. Jiminy Cricket. Steve from Jersey. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Anthony. Straight to the point. Charlie was a hero, a brave hero, and a warrior. All right, getting the message out. But the problem is we got to get smart. Our common sense, patriotic conservatives got to get smart here and start making ourselves sitting ducks. The other side is armed. They're evil. The American communists running the Democratic Party and their base that they are putting calls out to. So here's my suggestion. Cut it out with the live events. We can go. They recruit largely online and virtual. I've heard people say, well, they have live events and they hardly draw a crowd. Yeah, they don't need to. They do a lot of their recruiting online. We can do the same thing. You've heard of Zoom. You've heard of Teams. All right. That's not us being cowardice, Anthony. That's our side saying we're not going to make our leaders be sitting ducks like Trump. All right. Or Charlie. We're not going to make our followers like Corey Competore be sitting ducks. We're protecting ourselves until the other side purges itself of that evil element. There's a secondary point here, too, to why they should be virtual. All right. I looked up. Turning Point is a nonprofit. They have a donor base. I don't think it looks good. Perception, Anthony. Remember Perception?
Sure.
Perception could be. Here they are traveling all around, the leaders, on these planes, and they're living the high life. I'm not saying Charlie did that. I'm not saying he took more than was his share. And certainly for running that organization, he and the wife should get paid well. The point is, it's a bad look. So virtual events moving forward. That's my main point. A couple of the other things you said just before, I can quickly comment, but I'll let you decide that. You want to?
Give me one, because I got as far as let me just answer the virtual thing. I do understand that it's a bad look whenever you use money for personal stuff, and I guess it's his thing, it's his gig, or was
right.
And whatever money's coming into it, he's got to live. He's got a wife and kids. So I don't really fault him using any of that money to have a house and food for his kids and whatnot. And virtual events, dude, they just don't have that passion and energy as a live event. It just cannot replace a live arena event or a big outdoor event. I know the danger's there, but you're just not going to get people that just want to log in. It feels so plastic, It doesn't feel like you're around and amongst the people that you feel a connection with,
I understand, but then how is the left so successful?
Because they're idiots. They don't care. They don't care about connection with people, by the way. When they're protesting and marching down the street, they don't care who's next to them. They just care that it's another freak that believes exactly the same thing they believe, which is nonsense. So, there's when you see the old Trump rallies and, even this event, the Charlie Kirk Memorial, it's people getting together. There's a shared thing, and there's a feeling that reverberates in these arenas, Yeah.
Well, you make a good point. I understand. And I don't hold against Charlie or the wife to make what they're entitled to. They put together this organization. I think the wife was involved behind the scenes. My other point here, quickly. Donald Trump toned down the rhetoric. He could be less bombastic, less braggadocious, less narcissistic. All right, he could exaggerate less. Anthony, they'd still hate him. You need to look back. I'm a late baby boomer like you. Every Republican that's either run for president or held the office in our lifetime has been attacked viciously. All right, going back to since Ike. All right, so and let me add to this. They love this guy. I'm talking about Trump now. Just go back 15 years. They love the guy. It's the policies, Anthony. They left when you were talking about communists, right? Anybody who doesn't see the world the way they do, power and control. All right, we want freedom and liberty and the American way of life, and they're just not on board. They're going to hate anybody who from the past or moving forward. And Trump could do all those things that the other folks are saying. Would make a damn bit of difference. And by the way, where I left off with my call with you last week about Pam Bondi, I said I was starting to think she wasn't up to the task. All right, I don't remember. She was his second choice. There, I'm done, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. She doesn't have the belly for it. Yeah, perhaps. Good points. I get it, and I do agree. It doesn't matter, who. It doesn't have to even be Trump. Necessarily. They would look at someone with his policies and hate him anyway. It's worse that it's Trump because they all feel he didn't pay his dues to be the president. He didn't work through the system, start out as a comptroller in some small town, work his way up, Senate and vice president. He just went in and went, I'm going to be the president. And that was it. And he's hated for it. We knew there was that Beltway bro thing. I think we always knew. No outsiders allowed. Carlin did a bit about it, It's a big club and you ain't in it. You're not invited. Yep. That's exactly what it is. And Trump totally flipped that over and walked in. And all of a sudden, they got to call him Mr. President. That alone pissed him off. That alone got him all mad. What is he doing? He can't do that. Well, he did. Now what? And the only reason Trump did get in, this is ancient history, is because the lifers, the politicians that had been in there doing the same crap to all of us for generations, we were tired of it. And Goofy Donald comes down the escalator. I'm going to be president. I'm like, yeah, okay. Give it a whirl. See what happens. Who cares? How much damage could he do? And that first term was great, right up until they introduced a plague on the world. And, the second term, I got no problems with what's going on. I have no problems with what Trump is doing with his second term right now. They seem to be doing as much as they can on getting illegals out. I've talked to people. I feel the same way. I would love it if they were throwing out 1 million a day. That is absolutely not feasible. It is an impossible task. But to see them actually throwing people out, and they are because the left is livid about it. I like it. Yeah, more. But he's got, over 3 years left. Let's see what he can do. And the other policies, I like what he's doing as far as the tariffs go. That seems that whenever he puts tariffs up, everyone cries and screams that it's going to make everything more expensive. And then the other country folds. They go, all right, we're going to lower our tariffs. And it's never put in place as a permanent thing. Here's a forever tariff, never gets removed. It's a tactic. It's a bargaining tool that he's using. And all these countries that have had tariffs put on them have pulled back and said, all right, NATO, we finally have the other NATO countries putting in money. Not enough. The United States is still overwhelmingly funding NATO. But it's way better than it was under any other president. Any other president. Trump went in and went, yeah, you want to deal with Russia? Then we're out. He turned his back on our allies. Our allies have been screwing us. So I like the policies. And they're directly against what these lifer politicians have been doing for years. So I'm fine with it. I like what he's doing. Goofy, yeah. Narcissistic, yeah. Inappropriate, absolutely. But I kind of like the patio thing he did out in the rose garden. It was just grass. He didn't rip up the roses. He put it out there. I saw pictures of it one night. They were having a little cotillion out there. The tables are lit up. It looks like a great restaurant you'd want to go to. Not just some grassy field where, from what I hear, if there was rain the night before, the reporters are standing there with their shoes getting filled with mud, which is funny. I get that. But it looks great. And all they did was pound him about it. What's he doing? He's ripping up the rose garden. No, he's not. And every president does something. Who put the bowling alley in? I don't even know. One of those early 1900s guys. I want a bowling alley in the White House. All right. They put it in. So, whatever. He's the president, and he's Donald Trump. You have to take both of those things and realize what that means. Okay, kids, back in moments. Stick around.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. I watched J.D. Vance speaking at the Charlie Kirk Memorial earlier, but I don't want to play that. It's just more of the same. It's nice. It's all nice. They get up there and they talk about how wonderful it is, and truth be told, Trump's the only one that was really. They say he was inappropriate and not as spiritual, I guess. But all the rest of them just got up and, they talked about Charlie and how awesome he was and what a difference he made. But Trump's saying, I don't forgive enemies, my opponents. I hate them. And I kind of like that. I really kind of like that. But there is a clip from JD that I want to play, and it's the no unity speech he was giving the other day. These Democrats and left-wing communists, they're the ones now saying, hey, let's get together. We got to bring it together. We're all Americans. Let's turn down the rhetoric and this, that, and the other thing. And no. We've all heard that before. And we go back to being nice, because that's what we do, politically especially. And then more of our people get injured or murdered, or they are the party of violence. I'm sorry I even have to say that, but I do. So JD was talking about unity and the fact that it's impossible to speak to these people in a civil fashion, to try to unify with them and understand we're all Americans, and because they're out of their minds. Listen to JD.
There is no unity with people who scream at children over their parents' politics. There is no unity with someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder. There is no unity with someone who harasses an innocent family the day after the father of that family lost a dear friend. There is no unity with the people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination. And there is no unity with the people who fund these articles, who pay the salaries of these terrorist sympathizers, who argue that Charlie Kirk, a loving husband and father, deserved a shot to the neck because he spoke words with which they disagree. Did you know that the George Soros Open Society Foundation and the Ford Foundation, the groups who funded that disgusting article justifying Charlie's death, do you know they benefit from generous tax treatment? They are literally subsidized by you and me, the American taxpayer. And how do they reward us? By setting fire to the house built by the American family over 250 years. I am desperate for our country to be united in condemnation of the actions and the ideas that killed my friend. I want it so badly that I will tell you a difficult truth. We can only have it with people who acknowledge that political violence is unacceptable, and when we work to dismantle the institutions that promote violence and terrorism in our own country.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. I mean, I know a lot of people have problems with J.D. Vance also, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a problem with what he just said there. They don't want unity. They'll cry about it. They'll say that the right are the violent ones. We've heard it before. Right-wing violence is the most dangerous existential threat in America. Really? Who's doing the shooting? Who's been doing the shooting? Doesn't seem to be right-wing violence. All they've been able to do on the left is try so hard to twist and turn the evidence of who are perpetrating these shootings into saying they were right-wing, when they so obviously weren't. I know a lot of people on the left and the right. I don't know many people on the right that are dating transgender people. I really don't. Got to be honest. A lot of them are liberals. And the fact that they're the ones trying to make it seem like the people on the right don't want unity is insane. But because we've tried over and over again, and they just keep doing the same thing. Violence, looting, burning, assault, and murder. They tried killing Trump. They succeeded with Charlie Kirk. You just see political violence all the time. This guy that took a pot shot at ABC News affiliate in California because they were mad at Jimmy Kimmel being canceled. They're homicidal. I don't know. So it's good to see JD calling it out and calling them out. Hey, we'd love unity. It'd be great. But we can't do it with the likes of you. It just can't be done. You refuse to come together and even talk, even speak about our political differences. You look at everybody that thinks differently than you do as a political enemy that needs to be eliminated through whatever means necessary. Cancellation, right up to murder and assassination. That's who we're living with. That's our spouse. That's who we're laying in bed next to every night as America, as our two factions of right and left, liberal and conservative, Democrat, Republican. We're sleeping with the enemy. And they go, oh, come on. Can't we just, be chill with each other and be cool? No, you're a psychopath who's going to boil my rabbit. You're going to skin my rabbit and boil it in water. The hell movie was that? Fatal Attraction. I think that was it. Oh, my God. You just can't. They're just, they're incapable of civil discourse. They're just, I don't know. Insane. That's the word I'm looking for. They're insane. Trump laid into Ilhan Omar, which is another good thing. See, I like this. I like when we see our leaders speaking honestly or posting honestly. Donald Trump wrote this. Elon's been on a tear. She's been bad-mouthing Charlie Kirk. Of course, he was a racist. I've seen so many clips of Charlie Kirk having civil debates with people of every race, creed, color, religion, sexuality. But, he might have mentioned a few times that there's a crime problem within the black community. Oh, well, that means you're a horrible racist because you pointed that out and perhaps wanted to talk about it with somebody and figure out a way to maybe deal with it. Oh, well, you're a racist. Bye-bye. So Trump wrote, Ilhan Omar's country of Somalia is plagued by a lack of central government control, persistent poverty, hunger, resurgent terrorism, piracy, decades of civil war, corruption, and pervasive violence. 70% of the population live in extreme poverty and widespread food insecurity. Somalia is consistently ranked among the world's most corrupt countries, including bribery, embezzlement, and a dysfunctional government. All of this, and Ilhan Omar tells us how to run America. P.S. Wasn't she the one that married her brother in order to gain citizenship? What scum we have in our country, telling us what to do and how to do it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Like that, I love that. That is hilarious. And he's pointing out, if someone comes over here, especially from a crap hole like Somalia, as a refugee, mind you, taking refuge from the awful country that she was in. Meanwhile, her family was pretty much running the government, the Marxist government over there in Somalia. So she was seeking refuge from her own family. And then you come here and crap all over the United States of America. It's horrible. She should be kissing everyone's feet that allowed her to come here. And how she got into power. It was all some scam by Clinton and Obama. More on this and other things in seconds. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Yes, indeedy do. I missed this earlier when we were talking about Kash Patel and the Senate hearings and how he just doesn't back down. And Adam Schiff, I mean, this guy, if there was true accountability and true justice for politicians, high end especially, like your Adam Schiffs, if you will, this guy he'd be in prison. He'd have been locked away. This is a guy who consistently lies. All kinds of skeletons. Oh, my God. You open up that closet, bones. You get bones piled up around you. Perjury. This guy testified under oath and said things about Donald Trump that ended up being complete fallacy. The Steele dossier. Oh, was he attached to that whole thing? So he was questioning Kash Patel when Kash was in front of the committee. And this is what I love. Kash does not take anything Schiff is saying. He won't just sit back. And another thing, which isn't as good, is that we've gotten to this point, that we've reached a point where there is zero civility. Every so often during these committee hearings, or they're arguing a bill on the floor of Congress and the Capitol, you would get heated. But it has really gotten to the point where it's just, I don't know, back hall in school, the back of the school bus type language and attitude, no decorum whatsoever from anyone. And I don't even blame Kash Patel that much here, because they've just let this happen. Why not get involved and get in there and take your shots while you can? So here's Kash and Adam Schiff. Listen to this. It's fantastic.
People to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of inmates. What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Political
take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of the California. We are bringing historic reform.
Point of order.
But all you care about
Point of
is
order.
a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
you said I'm the most
control of this
transparent FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
That's great. But I mean, a complete lack of order and decorum and protocol. Just the gavel. Point of order. What? They're calling each other jerks pretty much. Point of order. But I like that. Kash Patel's got some gusto to him. He's not just going to sit there. Because I always hate that. When the guys would just sit there and they're not even being asked questions by the committee. They're just being dressed down. The committee members are just filibustering. They're just blurting out their agenda. And then they'll finish up right at the end with an insult to the person sitting there. And Kash just was not doing it. I'll talk over you. I'll call you a political buffoon. But it really does. I don't know. It's not good. It's not a good thing. It's entertaining. It's funny. I like it as a person and someone who enjoys comedy. But truth be told, that's not good for our country. And it's more proof that we are more divided now than ever. Where are we going as a country? Like, where do we go from today forward? Does the Charlie Kirk Memorial, it's over. We go through, I don't know, a couple of days of mourning. And then is there extremist violence from one side or the other? Do we go back to business as usual until something else happens and then everyone calls for unity again and it never ends? Never-ending cycle? Or does something actually happen? And if something does happen, what is that? What does that look like? People always talk about civil war. Oh, we're headed toward a civil war. I don't think so. We're way past that. We're not past the limits to which you would get into a civil war. That doesn't work anymore. That type of conflict, painting a line across some states and going, this is ours, you stay there, we'll stay here, and then you start shooting at each other, and it's this protracted campaign of death and destruction in America. We're done with that. It doesn't happen. Just like we'll never be in an actual shooting war with China. Years ago, that was a prospect. We've had proxy wars in Korea with China. But today, we're not going to war with China. If something happened where they invaded Thailand or something, Thailand, to get ladyboys, Taiwan, we wouldn't really do anything. We'd do sanctions. We'd probably maybe a blockade. I don't know. Because we're too dependent on each other financially. We went and got the whole world involved with each other's checkbooks. So we really don't have the convenience of bombing anyone anymore. Unless there's some little pissant country in the Middle East or Africa, something inconsequential, more proxy war, more trying to drag the American people into a war by, putting our soldiers somewhere where they could get bombed, and then we go, oh, the outrage. But look at Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine, and we were dead set against boots on the ground. Good. I say good. But it wasn't just that, well, the American people wouldn't want American soldiers fighting a Ukraine-Russia war. Shut up. Has nothing to do with it. We've sent American men to die forever since the inception of America. So what's so different? Well, we do business with some of these people. Russia, Russian allies. There's a big expense in bombing superpowers or big, powerful, wealthy nations. It just doesn't happen. And that's kind of the position we've been put in. So I don't know, where does it go? Like the Civil War scenario I was just talking about, it's not sound business-wise these days. It's bad business cutting the country in half and shooting at each other. So what do? We don't have a real get-out-your-gun civil war, but we despise each other. We hate each other. Half the nation hates the other half, and vice versa. So where do we go? National divorce. I've heard that one. That sounds scary. I don't know. I had one of those myself back in 2000. And it wasn't even national. It was personal. It was just two of us. And the carnage involved was insane. So I don't know. Then who takes what state? And then damn well the people from the conservative, the right, whatever our country was, whatever part of America was dubbed or deemed our country, they'd be crossing the border because theirs would suck. The left, a bunch of nose ring, purple-haired imbeciles, all on disability, no one's working, with Epstein-Barr syndrome. I'm on disability. Yeah, no one's paying it. We have no taxpayers on left America. Right America, they're wealthy as hell. Look, they're partying, champagne. They dance every night. Left America, not so much. Oh, we have an illegal alien problem now. Left Americans are trying to get into right America. It would always be that way. So where do we go? What happens? I'm a little pessimistic that anything gets solved. I think we just continue on this road of hating each other, not doing anything about it, like a miserable marriage. We're staying together for the kids. We hate each other. We're cheating. Just stay together for the kids. I don't know. Oh, get out of my sight. You disgust me. F you. Slam the door. The kids are crying. Oh, wait. That was me. That was me growing up. I don't know. Something's got to be done, but I just can't get a beat on what it would be. What we could possibly do to head back into a good direction for the country. Matt, the Bronx. What's up, Matt?
I'd like to expand some of the comments that an earlier caller made. Joaquin, I believe his name is, from Pennsylvania. First of all, the topic is immigration I want to discuss. But, as with any problem, in order to understand how to solve the problem, you have to understand how you got into it.
Right.
And a book that I recommend frequently is The Culture of Critique by Dr. Kevin McDonald.
Yes.
It talks about the 1965 Immigration Act, which put the massive third world immigration into place, back during the Johnson administration.
Isn't that amazing that the Civil
floodgates.
Rights Act and the Immigration Act were the same year?
Oh, yeah. No, actually, the Civil Rights Act was 1 year before, but immediately after. You have the Immigration Act. Yeah, and of course, all these laws to destroy the country.
So now the illegals, the immigrants, whatever it was back then, coming into the country, all of a sudden had these civil rights that they wouldn't have had prior to the Civil Rights Act. So now no one can tell them to go F off, not give them jobs, whatever it was. The Americans were legally bound to treat these people as Americans.
Right. And the thing is, the insidious thing about the Immigration Act of 1965, even back then, immigration law and immigration reform was aimed at the white population of the United States. They wanted to reduce the traditional population of the United States because under the Immigration Act, only 15% of immigrants came from Europe. The other 85% came from the third world. Now, when they signed the law into action, when they signed the bill into law, it wasn't pushed as a bill that would transform America's population. But that's exactly what it's done over the last 60 years. And that was the intention all along. It's a war against the traditional population of the United States, the type of population that Charlie Kirk represented.
Now, Matt, in 1965, what was the end game then? And what was this animosity to white America? Everything seemed post-war America was the number one superpower on earth. So why would you want to screw that up if you're LBJ or any politician in 1965 passing these bills knowing that it's going to destroy America at that point?
Well, the answer is power. The answer is power, divide and conquer. They don't want a homogenous country. They don't want a cohesive country.
Why? It was running pretty well. Why would you not want that country? As a politician, as a president or a senator, you still have a certain amount of power over the people. Why would you want to change it so drastically that the country turns into a third world crap hole?
Well, that's just it. Their vision of America, it's irreconcilable with a functioning American republic. They don't want their whole ideology, the Marxist ideology coming out of the mass media, coming out of the universities. It's a totally antithetical ideology to what the country is founded on. And again, they don't see the end game. They don't see what the consequences are going to be. The consequences is that the demographic changes that they instituted back then and continue to pursue now are going to lead this country to a violent conflagration. We're going to have a balkanized, violent civil war in this country that's going to divide the country permanently. And again, it's a country that, as you said, the country was functioning when it was homogenous. When 90% of the population was white, did we have problems? Of course we did. But again, they're nothing like the ones that we're headed to now. Now we're headed to a violent crack-up thanks to these left-wing policies, chief among them, massive open borders immigration. It's an economic drain on the country. It's a drain on our criminal justice system. And most of all, it's unmoored the country from the cohesion that it once enjoyed.
We don't feel
once was a homogenous country.
We don't feel unified as Americans anymore, and there's no optimism. There was back in the day, years and years ago, there was always this general optimism in America. You felt that being American, and being in this country and all it had to offer, that regardless of what was going on, there was always optimism. There is zero optimism these days in this country. Everyone just has this horrifically pessimistic outlook on what our future looks like. Like you just said, visions of civil war, poverty, Islamic takeover. There's not We don't look around and go, no, I think the country's headed in the right direction. And it's not just the president or Trump or this one or that one. It's just how the entire country is moving through history, not moving through a presidency. There's no optimism here. That's why when these presidents or politicians, Biden did this all the time. We're America. We could put our mind to it. We'd do anything. And it's like, no, not this America, Joe. Not this America. It's pure pessimism. Matt, thank you, my friend. I appreciate your calls. And we'll take a quick break and finish up with the Anthony Cumia Show after these words.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Yes, the Anthony Cumia Show. And I was looking at a little local politics for New York City with the Mamdani, Cuomo, Sliwa, Adams, I don't even know what you call it, debacle. If Mamdani gets elected, New York, you break my heart, Fredo. You will have done it again and elected someone to office that there's no way they're going to make things better. And it's an absolute fact that things will get a lot worse. And Governor Hochul, through her endorsement at Zoran Mamdani. That's right. Old Zoran. Zorhan. So Governor Hochul has backed a communist, Muslim, Islam, as mayor of New York City. And this shows who she is. This is, he's got the heat behind him. He's got the TikTok videos. You know, she could have gone for her former boss, Cuomo. She could have gone for Adams. Adams was the Democrat before he had to go independent because New York wanted a communist. But no, she wants some of the publicity that she knows Mamdani will give her, and maybe they can work out a little quid pro quo if he gets elected. But I hear he's not endorsed her yet. Is that supposed to be a thing politicians do? They're supposed to endorse each other. You're supposed to maybe talk about that beforehand. But every one of these policies, and I've noticed they're trying to squelch some of the policies that Mamdani has spoken about in the past. Some of these things that people go, what? In New York City? Are you insane? That will never work. And they're trying to play those down, but don't think for a second this guy, the second he's sworn in, isn't going to do everything a communist would do in a city like New York. This is going to be the freebie, unbelievable crime. No judicial system. It'll just be a frenzy. And law enforcement, the NYPD's a joke as it is right now. And I apologize to any of the real cops that are on the NYPD right now. You've probably been there for a while. You're just waiting for retirement, waiting for that pension move to somewhere, a much better state. Lower taxes, get that boat, do some fishing. I know a lot of NYPD guys, and that's exactly what they did. And anyone worth their while is probably waiting out their pension, hoping they don't get jammed up because they did their job and it was considered racist or sexist or homophobic or whatever. So that's what's going on with the NYPD. now. That's bad enough that that's what's happening now. Imagine under Mayor Mamdani. They're putting people on this police force that are completely incapable of doing the job of a small town cop, never mind the biggest city in the country as far as the police force goes. NYPD is an army compared to any other city's police department, and they are filling the ranks with unqualified, overweight DEI hires. The amount of videos I see on a daily basis of these little squat, troll-looking Latina women cops running around trying to apprehend a 100-pound crackhead, and they can't even do that. They're incapable of running. Once they catch the person, they can't do anything. They can't cuff them. And with half an effort, the perp gets away and runs, and these chubby women with gear flapping all over them, they can't do the job. And I've said this before, the one of the worst things about an incompetent cop, someone that can't do the job, that can't physically do the job, they put everyone in danger because they have to resort to deadly physical force before a competent, able, physically able cop. You get a couple of cops, they're both guys. They both are about the same size and weight, both about the same fighting prowess, and the bad guy squares off to the cop. Yeah, you might mace him or use the taser or the baton, but if push comes to shove and they have to go at it with hands-on, fists, they're equally matched. If something happens where the cop starts losing and thinks that his gun might be compromised or something, he might have to resort to deadly physical force. Maybe. But I've seen plenty of videos where they control the guy. You get another male cop in there and they stop the guy and control him. These women, if a guy comes at them with his fists and wants to punch them in the face and take their weapons, that's what's going to happen. A female cop has to resort to deadly physical force way earlier than a capable male cop has to. And that alone should eliminate women from street duty as a cop. That right there. Everyone is in danger at that point. All right, kids. I'll be back next Sunday. And don't forget Anthony Cumia on X if you want to see what I'm doing all week. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Anthony Cumia Show. You can hear the Anthony Cumia Show Sunday nights at 8. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Homeowners, when was the last time you checked on your home title? That's the legal record proving that you own your home. If your answer's never, then this is for you. Scammers, yeah, they're stealing titles and the equity in your home. That's their target. That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock, so you could find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code Anthony at HomeTitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report, plus you'll get a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection.